Agriculture on the move.
Agricole mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Hello again and welcome to the program Agriculture on the Move. I am Phillip Sydney. I want to say a special hello to our hard-working farmers of this country and of course the farmer groups, especially the Bellevue Farmers Cooperative and the Black Bay Farmers. I'm happy to hear that the Library Credit Union is working hand in hand with you, the farmers of Black Bay, to ensure that you get back on your feet speedily. It's a very good gesture. I'm hoping to get some more information on this, maybe to bring you on this program down the road. With me in studio is Mr. Flavien Rudolph, who is the General Manager of the Saint Lucia Marketing Board. Welcome to this program, Mr. Flavien.
Thank you, Mr. Sydney.
First of all, Marketing Board has been around for years. In every nook and cranny of this country, it's a household name. You are now the General Manager, and would you like to tell the public what is the mandate of the Saint Lucia Marketing Board?
Well, the Saint Lucia Marketing Board is simply an institution that was set up, as you rightly said, it has been there for a long time. Since 1967 it was established to market and to distribute local produce. That is the main function of the marketing board. So we have to source markets. We have to try to get best deal for local produce from our farmers. We have to work with them in terms of ensuring that they have a sustainable production for the local fruits and vegetables and other crops, and get an avenue by which we can store it for them, market it, and of course distribute it to the end users. And the end users can be the hotels, the restaurants, the supermarket chain, and the general public, anybody. And of course, not forgetting the element of the export. Once there is surplus production, it is our role, our function to step in and to seek markets abroad to export those produce on behalf of the local farmers. So that in a nutshell is our prime mandate, our prime function as an entity.
You all operated in the Castries Basin for years. I suppose you all have outlived your usefulness in Castries, and you all have moved to a new operating site, which is in the Otsa area in the IRDC. That movement, how has it been for you, your staff, and of course the farming public?
Well, we relocated sometime in September, towards the end of September. This move has been long overdue, and as you rightly said, we've been at the Jean-Baptiste location for over 40 years, and at the time the institution was set up there, there was not that much traffic. You have bus terminals around, you have the vendors who have encroached all around the area.
True.
You have a lot of activity, and it is sometimes almost impossible for you to maneuver, for the farmers to come in and do business. So the environment has not been good at all, and so the move to Otsa has been a welcomed one. It is centrally located, where the farmer do not have to contend, and those who are doing business with us do not have to contend with the traffic, the congestion. They do not have to contend with having to deal with other people from outside who impede them or who try to heckle them. And so it has been a challenge, and so we have welcomed this move. In fact, the environment is definitely more suitable for business. It is fresh, it is clean, it is neat around, there's plenty of parking, and so it has been a tremendous benefit to us going forward. However, we still maintain a presence at the Jean-Baptiste location. We do have our retail store there, and most people will identify with the marketing board through the retail store, and this is where we still operate. It will remain until, because this is where the critical mass is, and of course this is where we do a lot of our cash sales, cash activity. And I must admit that we have seen an increase in traffic in this store. We've done some work on it to improve the internal infrastructure and upgrade some of the facilities inside to make it more delightful for people to come in to shop. This is a work in progress, and we will continue to do that. And so we've seen the results of that. But however, our administrative offices, there is a new administrative building that was built, and so we are occupying this building, as well as part of the IRDC, which is the banana reception building, which part of it was retrofitted to accommodate our operations, where we have our storage, our refrigeration equipment, where we do our purchasing, where we do our receiving generally, and of course where we have our deliveries. But if you allow me, I may also add a lot of our business is composed of wholesale sales to the hospitality sector, to the various hotels, restaurants, etc. And this forms a big part of our business as well.
But did you find it difficult in terms of distance, like the hotels and this would be dealing with wholesale, to come right to the Ulster area?
Actually, no, because we do deliveries. These huge activity sales, we do deliveries. So we do deliveries directly to those clients, and you do get a few who do come to us directly to do pickups. And so the general sentiment has been that it is, a difference. It is very, very convenient in the sense that they do not have to contend and waste time in traffic and parking. It's not a problem there. So that is a good move.
The farmers, how do you all deal with the farmers? You all deal with them on a one-to-one basis, or you all deal with them on a group basis, for example, like the Bellevue Farmer Cooperatives or like the Black Base? How is I know you have contracting arrangements, etc. How is this going with the marketing board and the farmer? Okay.
Well, actually, the marketing board have had a good relationship with a lot of the existing farmer groups. Some of them, have become a little inactive, but we currently do, a bit of, twice weekly farm gate collections, where we send in a truck to do pickups from the various farmer groups. We deal with the IGA farmer group in particular, Greece, Bellevue, Saltibus, and a few others. So we do have arrangements with them where on a weekly basis they supply us with fresh produce, and as well as individual farmers that we enter into agreements with so that they can supply us based on the production schedule. And we also do have some of the farmers that do walk in. We verify that they're bona fide farmers, and we do business with them in terms of purchases from them. So we do have a good mix, a good blend of each of them.
In terms of your relationship with the farmers, do you have a continuous, say, in terms of quality control of the produce? How is this done?
Well, we have a selection process at the point where we do the farm gate especially. So when we do go out there, we have a satellite operation at Alger, for instance, where the farmers come in on a particular day. We select and sort out the produce that is suitable, and then we do the purchase. The walk-ins, we do it when they come on site on premises, so we will do the selection there. This is a work in progress. There's a lot more that we need to do to ensure that the quality is improved.
Well, hold that thought.
Yes.
We are due for a break. We are going to be right back. You're watching Agriculture on the Move.
Papier bon marché. Qui ça qui arrive ou? Pas acheter rien en la main. Choc moi dou. Moi ouais.
Mwen kade se di mwen ya, le travay, le mwen wè jok, a soupir apè moun la.
Hey! Si vous achetez, manger volé, animaux volés, poisson volé, ou pétoi pétoi ka payer en amende $10,000. Ou paye même pour 2 ans l'argent pour ça. Ni ou, ni choc.
Est-ce que vous avez un enfant là? Où est ma goutte, moi? Hein?
Tout là, si vous faites un chiffre, n'a quoi escouade police là-bas ou à présent, même.
Maman qui chanson.
Pas toucher moi. Si vous voulez une chance, on y pour confesser.
N'a confessé bah oui, moi.
Et vous-même, Janet, si pani sous douesse, pani volé.
Radio larceny is a crime. Let us all fight it. A message from the Predial Larceny Unit of the Ministry of Agriculture and Mamai Moshi.
Welcome back. You're watching Agriculture on the Move. I'm speaking with the General Manager of the Saint Lucia Marketing Board, Mr. Flavien Rudolph. Mr. Rudolph, you were talking about the selection process that you all have in ensuring that the farmers give you a good produce. How is this going?
Well, you know, as I said, it's something that we're still grappling with in terms of ensuring that they understand what we have to do as a responsible corporate entity. You know, quality and hygiene is very important. You have some farmers who, you know, do not see or understand, you know, the importance of this, and sometimes you have to have a challenge in helping them understand this, and this is something that we need to continue to do. We do that from the site where we do the pickups, as well as internally when the produce arrives on our premises, both outside and at the retail. We try to do that. Obviously, the system that we have is not foolproof, and we continue to work to improve it, to ensure that, you know, what we put on the shelves out there is of good quality. And quality in terms of the neatness of some of the crop items that you see, quality in terms of the maturity of it. A lot of those things we need to look at, and we continue to look at it closely, and this is a priority for us as we move forward.
Marketing board in time past was a name that farmers never wanted to hear. It has been, if I may call, taboo. At some point, they wanted to actually rebrand the marketing board into some other name or the other, just not to come out with the name marketing board. I know you have many challenges. How are you all working with the farmers now? One, in ensuring that payments are met on time. In terms of your production scheduling, are the farmers bringing in the stuff on time as planned? What are the challenges you face?
Okay, first of all, certainly we've had some, over the years, the SLMB has had a lot of challenges, both internal and external, in terms of its confidence level and trust that farmers have had in the institution. This has waned considerably on internal issues. And so we have taken a two-pronged approach to look at our institutional strengthening to ensure that we are able to service those farmers that we deal with. And of course, on the outside, to having done that, to now go to them and be able to do business with them and to gain their trust. There have been several schools of thought as to what direction the institution should take. Should it be a private, public entity, a combination of it, a PPP, or a completely private organization, a private company driven by just profit. And of course, the latest is where we look at the whole question of food and being a food company, food production or marketing company. And so, you know, there is a plan on the way in terms of the direction of the institution, as of course per mandate the policy direction given by the current administration. And so we have worked on that. I am happy to see that the fact that we have now moved into a new structure that allows us, that physical structure allows us to do that kind of expansion and some of that work that is needed. But a lot is still ongoing and has to be done to ensure that we will have that complete transformation of the organization. Notwithstanding those challenges, both financial and otherwise, we've been able to service those farmers that we deal with, you know, in terms of ensuring that the payments are always available and ready. In fact, they can surely boast that we have been more prompt in our payment to them than they receive from other entities. And that has been happening for a few years. So it is something that we certainly take seriously to ensure that our farmers are always satisfied in terms of getting the just reward for their produce and get it on time. And this is what we continue to do.
I remember in times past, marketing board was used as a dumping ground, in the sense that they would try and get their produce sold to other entities like the hotels and the supermarkets. And when, say, the A grade is sold, they come and they offer it to the Central Marketing Board as a dumping ground and stuff like that. How are you coping with that?
All right, you mean the farmers?
The farmers, yes.
Yeah. That has been a challenge over the years. You know, a lot of the entities have developed their own relationship. They've gone directly to the farmers. And the farmers themselves, even those who have in the past have agreements, contractual arrangements with them based on their production, agree to buy at a fixed price, at fixed quantities, etc. They would try to, based on what happens in the market, they will go and try to sell it elsewhere. And if they can't get to sell it elsewhere, you find that some of them would come back to the marketing board. And we have still embraced them. We have still tried our best to ensure that we can take in some of the stuff that they produce and try to resell it. But it's a vicious cycle, you know, because sometimes we've been accused of not being able to absorb all what is produced by the farmer. But when that is unplanned, unannounced, it makes it difficult because there must be a structure in place to market. You don't just wake up and make a call and say, hey, we have 500 kilograms of X. Can you take it? And you expect that it will be done. That is not going to happen at all. So some of those very hotels, some of those very institutions, they buy from the farmers direct, and they have their own, you know, little relationship with the farmers that they exist. So it makes it difficult for us, for the farmer, for the hotel to buy from us. But the farmer then turns around. If he can't sell all, he comes to us. That's right. And so now we are left, you know, with a bind in terms of having to market and to distribute that very same thing that can't always be sold to those entities. And so we try in our retail store to, as much as possible, accommodate everybody. But a lot of cases the volumes are just not enough and not economical to export it. And this is a challenge that we have. Moreover, there are some farmers that we work with who produce on a bigger scale, but yet the consistency, the inconsistency makes it difficult, to ensure that we have a guaranteed supply even for the export market. So it is a challenge, but I believe that it's one that has to be, approached, from various angles in terms of not just the marketing board, but the Ministry of Agriculture and a lot of the various stakeholders to assist in ensuring that we have a proper scheduling, a proper plan in place in terms of the market intelligence that we get, which would guide our farmers.
But is this process really working in terms of working in tandem with the Ministry of Agriculture, with the farmers, getting that sort of market intelligence out there, the production scheduling, and to actually issue a contract to the farmers? How is this working with you?
Okay. I think there's a lot that needs to be done in that area. We do collaborate with the ministry, but I don't think there's a good proper system in place to share that information and to make decisions, informed decisions about what exists in the industry. We have our limitations as an organization in terms of what we are able to do on the ground, though we have a liaison officer who may go there, but we have our limitations.
Well, hold that thought. We have for a break. We'll do for a break. We'll be right back.
Agriculture, one of the pillars of St. Lucia's economic development, creating opportunities for earning a living for the farmer and his family. From the field to the kitchen, the St. Lucians are finding creative ways of using fruits, crops, and vegetables grown locally, from local seasonings to special brews, from aquaculture to the cultivation of local herbs for export. A strong agriculture industry strengthens the economy. The country needs your support, so buy local.
Mr. Rudolph, you were speaking about the contracting arrangements and that arrangement between the Ministry of Agriculture and yourselves, because that's a vital link, because production scheduling is important. You need to know exactly what's coming out in the field. But apparently there is that break. How do you think that can be tightened?
Okay. Well, we have engaged the Ministry of Agriculture, the marketing unit, as to be precise. In fact, as we speak, there is a meeting going on, and there's a meeting to discuss a farmer certification program. And that's not relevant in the way we have engaged in this program before. And it's one that we want to strengthen and to resuscitate, rekindle that kind of relationship, whereby some of the farmers that we work with, we can get them to assist them with the best practices, to assist them to guarantee that we will get a market for them, and to provide an incentive to them to ensure that they produce the best quality and they do it consistently. So I'm hoping, we're very optimistic that program should take care of this. However, we will continue our collaboration with the ministry to ensure that we can work hand in hand with them in terms of ensuring that there is a plan and that we have the information that is on the ground that we can use to make that informed decision that we want to make as it relates to what production, export, the potential, what are some of the crops that have the potential for export, and the quantities that we expect at certain times of the year, so that when we do our marketing, we are able to have that information, armed with that information, to say, hey, this is what we can present, this is what we can offer.
What would you tell a farmer out there who is prepared to go into the production of vegetables? What are your ideas to him? What he should do before he goes into production?
I think basically he certainly needs to consult his officer, extension officer, to find out, first of all, what the trend is, what time it is suitable to produce the crop that he wants to. He also needs to talk to us to find out. He needs to look at how is it going to market those if he produces it. He needs also to find out what his cost is going to be. That is essential. So before he goes ahead and start planting, he needs to have all that information so that it will be easier for him to determine what level of production that he needs to meet. If he needs to stagger his production, what price is he expected to get at that particular time that it's going to be ready, so he can measure that against his cost and be able to make some informed decision as to whether or not it's a good, a viable business to go into that the farming of that particular vegetable. And so that is important. And you know, having the market is essential, because his strength may be in production and not necessarily in marketing, and he can let us handle that for him. And so that will save him, and he can spend that time in ensuring that he gets some more efficiency, or he increases his production. So that is what I would say to him, that look, if you are going to go into any kind of farming, be it vegetable or otherwise, get the information out there. Know what's on the market. What time is it's best to produce, to harvest. What is the price and the approximation of the price, the going price. So it gives you a good baseline by which you can start and determine, okay, these are the crops based on that information. This is what I'm going to do, and this is when I'm going to do it. The time is very critical.
Exporting of commodities. I know in times past the marketing board used to export. I know years ago they used to export ginger. I know also hot peppers and plantains and stuff. What are the priority crops that are on the export market table now? Okay.
Well, we have looked at the plantain. We have actually done a bit of export, be it from right here to the cruise sector in terms of ripe bananas, and a few others. We've done we've looked at plantain, which is, although we've seen the production of plantain has gone down, but it is of high demand. We have looked at the vegetables. We have looked at tomatoes at some point. Now we're currently looking at the supply of pumpkin. We've seen that there have been a tremendous rise in the production of pumpkin. And we are in the process of identifying the farmers who are serious about the pumpkin, so that we can engage them and put in a plan together, so we can have a reliable supply, at least for a period of time. Another aspect, as we speak to export, we are really looking at the low-hanging fruits. We have several cruise ships who come to our harbor, you know, on a weekly basis. Well, sometimes on a daily, you have 3-4 of them. And there is an opportunity in this sector, and we have engaged them, and some of them have indicated an interest in buying some of the local stuff once it meets the quality and the standards that they require. Some month ago, I think it was last month, we did we did do some sales to one of the cruise lines who came and demanded it. Albeit the time span is very short. But the fact is, there is an opportunity in this area, and we are looking at a few select crops in which we can do that. Also, there is an opportunity for plantain in the U.S. In fact, we have received some requests for plantain, to explore the viability of doing some plantain as well in the U.S. And this is something that we're going to look at with the plantain
Mr.
farmers.
Rudolph, I must say, time has really crept on us very quickly. I really want to touch based on the egg production side of it, but I think I'll have to bring it back again, because that issue is a very sensitive issue at this juncture. So I want to thank you for being on the program, and to enlighten the viewers out there and farmers out there as to what it entails in the marketing board. So I wish you well. I wish you success with your staff as we go ahead. You're watching Agriculture on the Move. I want to thank you for viewing on behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture and also the GIS and NTN team. I am Phillip Sydney saying goodbye, and see you again next time.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.